So I'm apparently going through 7, 11, and 15, which is fine, because today is just a day of review for our test. So we will review today. And hopefully once you guys get the review and kind of see what I'm asking and kind of put it all in one place, hopefully it goes okay. If not, we can always figure things out and talk about them together. So I am going to go through those ones that you guys have questions on. So starting with number 7, they give us -3 and then 2 minus I is zeros. It says find a polynomial of smallest degree with real coefficients that have 0, -3, and 2 minus I. If these are the zeros they give us, we automatically know there's a second zero because of that I. So 2 plus I is also a 0. We're hopefully okay with that. Once I have that, then I'm going to write these as factors. So our factors are always x minus whatever our 0 is. Now, this one becomes x plus 3. This one becomes x minus 2 plus I, and then x minus 2 minus I. So I'm going to FOIL this together. And there's so many places to make small mistakes here, so it's totally understandable. I mean, if you had x minus 3 instead of x plus 3, that's going to throw it off. But we're going to do FOIL. So, again, I have 3 terms by 3 terms, so I'm going to end up with 9 terms. So I'm going to kind of check for that. So that's my first 3. Then I'm going to go here. And then that's my next 3, and then I have to go to the last ones here. Now, again, a bunch will cancel always with these because they're conjugates. So these 2 cancel, and then these 2 cancel. So I'm left with x squared minus 4x plus 4, and then minus I squared, so minus a -1. So this is the trinomial for the imaginary. And then I still have to multiply it by this. And again, you're going to be showing some steps. So if you lost something in here and just something was a flip sign, that one term is enough to make this all look like you had no idea what you're doing, but you probably did. Probably weren't that far off. So that's my x times all those things. So now I'm going to do my 3 times all of them. And then I have to combine my like terms. So that should be it. Hopefully you guys saw where you went wrong, like if you, and hopefully we start avoiding some of those mistakes that come up. And I know when I rush through problems like this, I mean, I definitely make a ton more mistakes. Now, honestly, on a problem like this, I've actually kind of started getting like logical about, I don't always even write down the terms that have just a regular I in them, because I know they're going to cancel if I have a conjugate. That might be kind of a dangerous thing to tell you to do, because it might end up causing you issues, but it does work typically if you're doing the math correctly. All right, I'm going to go to number 11. So it asks us to find all the zeros, x to the 4th minus 1. So if you just move that 1 over and took the 4th root, you're going to miss 2 of the zeros. So like I'll kind of just show you probably how you could have lost. So you take the 4th root of this, and you probably get plus or minus 1, I'm assuming, like if you remember that there should be 2 answers. However, since this is the 4th power, this is kind of a tricky one because of the fact that that seems like you should be able to do that, but since there's a 4th power, and we know we can find imaginary zeros, there should be 4 answers, not just 2. So that makes me think I have to try something different. So x to the 4th minus 1 is really a difference of squares. Again, because I want more than just 2 answers. So I want to multiply to get 1, add to get 0, so plus 1 minus 1. So this is kind of a unique case, not necessarily one that like is going to come up all the time, but it's still stuff we should talk about. So each of these are set equal to 0. I'm going to move that 1 over and take the square root. And we know that square root of negative 1 is I, but since we put the square root in, it's plus or minus I. There's our 2 other answers. Because this one we kind of already maybe knew already. So again, if they ask for all solutions, real and imaginary, we should be able to find them all. So like there should be a way, so if you don't get them all, then you kind of have to pivot and try something different. So factoring is another option. Quadratic formula if it's a squared. This is not a squared though, so you can't use quadratic formula. All right, and then 15 is one of those kind of longer problems. Kind of a lot going on in 15 here, but they give us 1 is a 0. If we know a 0 of the polynomial, we're going to do synthetic division. So, so what we're left here is remainder of 0. This is our constant, our x, x squared, x to the 3rd, and x to the 4th. So it kind of seems like maybe you think you shouldn't be able to solve this, but if you write it out, the x to the 3rd's gone. Oh, that's right, that should be x to the 4th. This is gone. Now, at this point, x to the 4th, again, kind of like the last question, we know there should be 4 answers for it. I can't use quadratic formula because quadratic formula is only for squared. But hopefully you remember that we do know how to factor things with x to the 4th. It's x squared times x squared. I want to multiply to get 9, but add to get 6. So this is just going to be 3 and 3. Right? 3 times 3 gives us 9. Now it repeats, so technically this is going to happen twice. So we're going to get 2 answers from each of theirs, so these are our other 4 answers. So I get x squared plus 3 equals 0. Move that 3 over. And we're going to take the square root. Now square root of negative 3. Square root of 3 is not a nice number, but I can pull that I out, and I know it's going to be plus or minus. Sorry, that should be a plus minus I square root of 3. We just leave it that way. But this has multiplicity of 2 because there's 2 of them. And then x equals 1 was our other answer. All right. So I'm going to give you guys our little review that we typically do, and then there is one question on it we'll do together. And then I'll let you guys loose on the review, and we can always like kind of regroup at the end and kind of see where we're at and see if it's going better or not. So I'm actually gonna stop the video just to